Side Nuggets. I am Timitayo Fagoron. Welcome to the program. In today's edition, we'll be looking at the topic divorce in marriage. What is divorce? And is it right as a Christian to divorce in marriage? These are more questions on divorce will be discussed on the show today. But before I introduce the guests, let's watch people's view on divorce.
As a child of God, as a Christian, divorce is not biblical. Because once you are together, you are no more two, but one. What are your differences? What are the problems that will bring about divorce? It's something that you will sit down if you are a child of God. If you are truly a born-again Christian, you see that no matter the problem, you can sit down, you reason together, you pray together, and you will overcome divorce.
I would say Christians should not divorce. Divorcing your wife or your husband is against the Bible. So one must be very, very sure before you go into any marriage, either positive or negative. You should have the mind that where you are going is a contract, and it's a lifetime contract, and you must not breach it. You love your husband or you love your wife according to the Bible. But if you know you cannot, why did you have to venture into such a relationship? So to my faith, I don't believe Christians should divorce.
It is against the God's standard. The commandment of God is forbids it. It's against the standard of God to divorce our spouse.
You're welcome back. On the program today, I have Pastor Hayola Ojaye. You're welcome, sir.
Hello, welcome, thank you.
Sir, what does the Bible say about divorce?
Yeah, the Bible said so many things about divorce, but the Bible was very careful about it. One of what's very important facts about divorce that God told us is in Malachi chapter 2:16. It says God hates divorce, and that is the summary of it. And that is, God does not want divorce in our life. But it went further in Matthew 19:9 and said, because of situations like infidelity, adultery, divorce could be allowed. But then comes in the place of forgiveness.
As a child of God, is it right for me to divorce my wife?
When it comes to the topic of divorce, it's a very, very complex topic. It's a very complex issue. And one could not say straightforward that one should divorce the wife or not. The only reason where I will be careful to talk is when there is a threat to life. Because the Bible says, yes, only for infidelity and with the witness of 2 or 3 people. And then there is the place of forgiveness 490 times. So the truth is that the Bible is actually telling us divorce is really not looked into. It's not allowed. And if we look at it on our own level here, there is no sin that cannot be forgiven, except when there is the probability of losing a life. That's when my hands are off and divorce could be allowed.
What's even the difference between divorce and separation?
Yes, divorce is the legal separation of a marital union where the law court gives their decree and allowed a man and woman to go their separate ways. Stop bearing their names, stop having roles and responsibilities to each other, even not bearing even each other's name. Divorce is permanent. That means they have been separated forever. But separation is in a place where there could be an opportunity to rebuild. That is, separation is the man and the woman will live separately, go on their different ways, but still legally married, probably still bearing the same name, still having responsibility, even though not carried out. And that is the difference. Separation is temporal, which allows for rebuilding of a home, while divorce is permanent.
All right, we have understood that there is coming back in separation, that they can come back together.
Yes.
But in divorce, that is final. Now let's go back to that divorce.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm married for 5 years, and after 5 years I discover that I'm getting tired of my partner, and I see a younger person that I feel like we can start a new life with. I can divorce my wife, because you said we can divorce. It's not a sin to divorce. So leave that one and pick another wife to continue a life.
The actual thing is that I did not say it's not a sin or it's a sin. I am careful judging between the two.
Okay.
But you can decide on your own depending on the interpretation of the cause of divorce. For instance, where a man carries a knife or cutlass to run after the wife several times, there is no wisdom in telling the wife to stay in the home. That's an interpretation. But in a case where they have an argument or even a child outside, they can sit down and settle it. So I am not outright saying it's a sin or it's not a sin. Even after settling it, they can go their separate ways, but it can only be judged depending on the interpretation that each person gives to divorce. And in the case of what you say, that if a man has a wife after 5 years decided to divorce, for every man, for every woman, there is a certain time in life that you get tired of your spouse. You just look at he or her and say, why did I marry this man? Why did I marry this woman? It will always come. Now, one of those things advice in that situation is you go into yourself and make a commitment. Which commitment? That there won't be divorce, and that's when you start to build your home. The other girl seen outside, you don't know what she's bringing in. And then the Bible has a benchmark for this. The Bible said, he who divorces and remarries has gone into adultery. I don't want to know the bishop or the pastor or whatever it is. That's what the Bible says. The Bible standard is the moment you divorce, you remarry, you have been into adultery. But the Bible now gave a conception, the Bible gave an advice, and the Bible made it easy that except if you go back to the one you married before, you can go and settle and come back. And that's talking about remarriage to the one you divorced. There are so many cases.
Okay.
Like I heard of a case, a sister came for counseling with a group, and I was opportune to be with them. And she was tearing the husband. The man is a bad man. He drinks, he does this, and he said so many things. So after the counseling session, I was talking with her junior brother, and she was there, and I said, and with me and the brother, we are talking about our own personal home. Yeah, me, I enjoy my home. What you said about your husband, and so on. And the woman wept. But surprisingly, I went with the brother about 4 or 5 months after then to Ilorin. So when I got to Ilorin, the brother told me, auntie is around. And we went to go and check her. And we discovered she has gone back to her husband. Even they are still divorced, but she's still living with the husband and taking care of the children.
Okay.
So that's why I said the case of divorce is a very complex case, both for the man and the woman, the children and the family.
If the marriage is life-threatening,
Yeah.
you can leave your wife or your husband. Does that mean that person must not marry? Be married?
According to the Bible standard, what the Bible said is that he who divorces and remarries is to adultery. And the standard of the Bible does not change. The method could somehow be transformed, but the standard is the same.
But according to the Bible, it talks about the wife is subject to their husband,
Yeah.
not husband to the wife.
Yes.
It means that if I divorce my wife, I have the privilege to remarry.
When it's the stage of the wife should respect the husband, the husband should love the wife.
Okay.
And if you are talking of divorce, where is the area of love? We are all human beings. If me and you will stay for 2 days, there is probability of us to start quarreling. Why do you put this on this? Where do you put your shoe there? Where do you put your shirt there? We now have to come together to tolerate each other. And that's one of those things we need to do when it comes to divorce. So it is not, I don't have a rule. I'm not saying everybody should divorce.
Okay.
To me, I'm encouraging everybody to continue with their marriage. But when it's life-threatening, one should use their wisdom.
All right, sir. The purpose of this program is to build home, not to mar it.
Yeah.
So that is why I want to ask you this question. Let's say a family, they are at the verge of divorce. What do you advise them to do?
When a family is at the verge of divorce, they still have hope. Big hope. Now, the first thing they need to do is first, they need to look at their marriage within themselves. What has been going on? Like somebody was asking me yesterday, why are we here in Nigeria? What has gone wrong? Where have we taken the wrong step? The same thing these people will have to do in marriage. Look back into their life. Where have we gone wrong? Then take it in prayer to God. What God cannot do does not exist. Take it to God in prayer and ask God, Lord, help me. Seek for good marriage counselors. I said good marriage counselors. Then the husband and wife should sit down and think about the children. Because a lot of this divorce thing affects the children. Affects the children seriously. I was trying to mediate between a girl, the mother and the father. Just 4 or 5 days ago, the girl came to me that the mother sent 200,000 to her. She's a student of Union. The father sent 350 to her. The father now called her that, how much did the mother send? He said, he told her. The mother now called, why did you tell the father how much I sent? Now the girl said she's sad. It's like they are doing competition on her. So she was crying. I had to collect the mother's number and call the mom. That time when you are separating or when you are divorcing, you did not take into consideration this your daughter. She's depressed. She's a very depressed girl. In fact, she said she will not go to class and she will go. So the mother said, she told the father, let us think of the daughter. The father said she doesn't care. When I called the father later, the father said the same thing. So when it comes to divorce, one should think of the child involved. So that one should help.
Okay. You
brought them into the world. We have a lot of vagabonds in town because of situations like this. Where the father and the mother people have divorced over flimsy excuses. You wash it today, she did not wash it. You sweep, you did not sweep. I put my clothes here, I did not put here. Over flimsy excuses. But if they have the thought of that child in mind, like I was at the wedding, the girl was crying all through the wedding. She's a girl who is close to me. And I asked her, Kilo Fekun, today is a day of joy. She said, Daddy, you don't know what I went through. That when they were about doing the engagement, the father-in-law called her, that you have to cancel the wedding. Because your father and your mother are not together. You will bring the same thing to my son's house.
Wow.
So parents should sit down and think critically. What are the situations where we will put this child? If they think about it, I believe there is nobody that cannot tolerate each other. So where do we put this child? So those are some of those things that can help marriage. Get good counselor, talk to God. Then remember that Bible to God, marriage is honorable.
Yes.
It's honorable to God. So when we think of those things, options, divorce should not come as an option. There's always a way out.
All right, thank you very much. But just in case my partner doesn't want a solution but divorce, what do I do?
When it comes to that situation, it's a very dicey situation. We have had a lot of people that say they are not. You cannot force a horse. You can force a horse to the river. You cannot force a horse to drink. When there is one of the spouse insisting they don't want the marriage again, there's nothing you can do. It's advisable in that situation to go into separation.
Okay, separation.
Yes.
And see the possibility
of coming back together.
So you are advising separation instead of divorce.
Yes.
Because there is still hope
that they can come back.
Yes. Our viewers out there, we believe you've learned one thing or the other from Pastor Ayola Ojaye. If you have learned something, join us on the next episode. My name is Temitayo Fagoro. Bye for now.